If it feels like no matter how hard you work, you are not gaining velocity or staying healthy, you need to implement this J-band routine into your own, because this could be what makes you throw harder or stay healthy so you can train more.
The first thing I do is warm up, and the way I do that is rolling out with a foam roller as well as rolling on a lacrosse ball to get my soft tissue spots. The next thing I do is a dynamic warm up, and everyone has their own, whether you do high knees, sprints, jogging around the field. I do that to get my blood flowing as well as get a little sweat going. And then I'll work on mobility in my shoulder, in my hips, as well as ankles and my thoracic spine. After all that, I will work into increasing blood flow within my arms. So arm circles, wrist weights, anything you can think of to increase more blood flow into specifically your arm. And then I work straight into my J-bands.
These are the first things that I start out with. So it is increasing the flexibility of my pec by stretching it at the bottom there, as well as the lats when moving the hands up. It is important to note that your hands stay neutral. I am not turning my wrists throughout the motion. After about 10 to 15 reps of those, then I stretch out my lats a little more by leaning forward and allowing the bands to pull my arms back. After that little stretch, then I go into the same exact movement but turned around, so I'm working on the decelerator muscles inside the upper back, as well as still lengthening out the arms. Again, I do 10 to 15 reps of that. Don't come at me, I know I only did 7. And then I work into my swimmers, and so this is still working on the decelerators in the upper back, working on the scap retraction as it is all behind your body. And then I do 10 reps of these. After the swimmers, I work onto the touchdowns, or whatever you want to call them. And basically you are rowing high, squeezing your scap, and then externally rotating your arm. And so this is going to be working on a pattern that is within the throwing motion that you do, as well as the decelerators. The next thing that I do in this routine is working on pronating and supinating of the arm. And so this is a great way to warm up before you actually throw high intent and or just throwing the ball, pronating it. And then I turn around and do the same thing. This one is more explosive on the front end versus when you're working pulling in. This is more of a push, and so it's more explosive in that front, and I do 10 reps of that. As everyone could have expected, internal and external rotations are inside of the J-band routine. The one key feature is that I am, as you can see, working down. My hand is moving down at an angle and up right now as an external. And I learned that from a physical therapist after I had a strained UCL, and they were telling me that this is the way that you can protect your arm a little better, and it's just a better way of performing the exercise. And with the external and internal rotations, I do 10 to 15 reps of each side, as well as I make sure to do 5 slow and controlled external rotations at the end.
And that concludes the J-band routine I do every single day before I throw to warm up, stay healthy, and to increase velocity.